Welcome to an overview of the express check-in process. This video will demonstrate steps required to conduct an express check-in. You will discuss this process in more detail with the subject matter expert assigned to train you in this area. The key personnel involved in this process include the warehouse checker, route driver, and supervisor. As always, safety glasses and earplugs are required in designated areas. The express check-in process begins when a route driver returns to a branch after completing a route. The driver parks the vehicle at a dock or warehouse yard if a dock is unavailable. It is important to know that prior to returning to the branch, the driver completed the following 4 tasks. 1. Organize the trailer. All returning full goods, deposits, out-of-date, close-dated, and damaged product were neatly organized on individual pallets. Out-of-date, close-dated, and damaged product is easy to identify. If CO2 canisters are present, they are properly secured. 2. Verify date codes of any close-dated or out-of-date cases. Product marked out-of-date has less than 7 days of remaining shelf life, and product marked close-dated has no less than 7, but no more than 42 days of remaining shelf life. 3. Invoiced, out-of-date, and damaged cases. Out-of-date and damaged cases were counted and invoiced to the out-of-date and damaged accounts by unique SKU number in the handheld. The invoices were printed and signed and left with their corresponding pallets. These invoices will be used by the checker for verification. 4. Generated the on-truck report. The number of returning full good cases were counted and verified against what is listed in the handheld. Close-dated cases were included in this count as they will be later resold to a higher volume account to avoid shrinkage. Documentation that lists when and where the close-dated product will be transferred must be included with the product. The on-truck report, which lists these totals, was generated, printed, and signed by the driver. Product listed on the on-truck report will be later automatically transferred back into warehouse stock. The driver will be held accountable for missing product. The driver places the on-truck report and handheld in the driver's cab or with the out-of-date and damaged invoices. He or she locks the cab's doors and places the key in a designated, secure location. The driver is now permitted to leave. The truck is ready to be checked in. The checker obtains the warehouse set of truck keys, which should always be on a single key ring, sells out-of-date and damaged log and check-in sheet, and proceeds to the truck. The checker counts the number of returning full goods, deposit items, out-of-date cases, damaged cases, and records the count on the check-in sheet. Again, close-dated product should be counted as full goods. Then, the checker gathers the handheld, on-truck report, and out-of-date and damaged invoices printed by the driver. He or she will then compare the quantities listed on the check-in sheet against the quantities listed on the driver's on-truck report. The on-truck report does not list damaged or out-of-date product, so the checker will have to compare these quantities against the out-of-date and damaged invoices. If there is a variance between the check-in sheet and driver's documentation, and the driver did not leave supporting documentation explaining the reason for the variance, the checker should recount to ensure he or she didn't miscount. If a variance is confirmed, the checker must notify a warehouse supervisor who will then count the truck with a separate check-in sheet. If the warehouse supervisor verifies a variance, the checker makes adjustments in the handheld to reflect the accurate count. For full-service check-in, flavor variances must be considered and adjusted if present. Once the checker approves that the quantities listed in the driver's handheld match what was returned on that route, he or she will generate, print, and sign the end-of-day report. If any adjustments were made to the original driver's counts, the approving warehouse supervisor must sign the report as well. Please note, adjustments cannot be made once the end-of-day report is generated. The case quantities are documented on the sales out-of-date and damage log by SKU, and the log is placed in a designated area. The end-of-day report is retained with the on-truck report, check-in sheet, and out-of-date and damaged invoices for 1 year in order to stay in compliance with Sarbanes-Oxley regulations. The check-in process is now complete. Please note, the entirety of the trailer must be unloaded prior to the next inventory count. Out-of-date product should be crushed and damaged product should be taken to the sales damaged repack area to be repacked into a sellable case. Close-dated products should be placed in a designated location with proper documentation. If documentation listing the product's destination and delivery date is not provided, the cases may be charged back to sales as out-of-date shrink. CCBCC is committed to making you successful by providing the tools you need to do your job. Additional information can be found by clicking on the links within your operations training manual or by asking the subject matter expert assigned to you during your 2-week training period. You are encouraged to discuss your progress and any questions you have with your supervisor or subject matter expert, and to monitor your knowledge on an ongoing basis to ensure you are following the standardized procedure for this task.